Hi everyone, my name is Caris and welcome back to my corner of the internet where I talk about books and other things that I enjoy. In today's video, I've decided to react to my first ever book haul, which is about 6 years old because apparently I like torturing myself. Basically, I'm just going to watch the video. I'm going to say if I've read the book, say if I still have it. I have a feeling that I'm going to have read like none of them because prior to joining BookTube the first time, I was like 18 when I started, and I think before that the majority of books that I'd read had been from the library, and then I came onto BookTube, saw that everyone had these like amazing shelves and like owned every single book, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do that. So I think literally anything I saw that had pages in it, I was like, yep, I'm gonna buy that, and then I just didn't read them, which is so pointless. This is something that I've got a lot better at though. By comparison, I just skimmed through my book haul from this Christmas to see, and I have read all of those books already with the exception of one. So yeah, I would like to say I'm like in a good place with the hauling and reading now, but I definitely wasn't back then. So let's just get into it and see. I'm also gonna have to put my glasses on, otherwise I'm literally not gonna be able to see the screen. So yeah, if I'm looking down, if there's a reflection, I'm sorry. Hopefully it won't be too annoying. Okay, so this is called December/Christmas book haul, and it's from the 11th of January 2015. I just know my voice is going to be really grating because when I came back to BookTube this time, I reacted to my original BookTube newbie tag from like this year, and the first thing that I noticed was the fact that my accent was so like not it. Let's just go.
Hi everyone, it's Caris. So today I'm filming my December and Christmas book haul. I know this is a bit late, but the reason why I'm filming it today is because I ordered some books on Boxing Day.
Oh my god, Boxing Day. Boxing Day. Boxing Day. I think I sound different. I don't know if other people do. Also, we love to see that I still use my hands just as much to talk then as I do now. It's a real annoying habit of mine.
The first 5 books that I got before Christmas I actually got from a charity shop, so they actually only cost me 50p to £1 each.
We love that bargain.
The first of these books was How I Live Now by Meg Rossoff.
Okay, I think I still have this. I'm just looking at my shelf. I don't think I've got it. I definitely haven't read it, but I don't think I have it either unless it's in my flat. I can't remember all of the books that are in my flat, but I don't think it will be there because it wouldn't be like a high priority. 1 down, 1 not read, 1 not owned anymore.
I picked this up because I read Picture Me Gone by Meg Rossoff in 2013.
I do not remember that.
And it was only 50p, so I thought I may as well give this one a go. The next book that I got from the charity shop was The Memory Keeper's Daughter.
Yeah, I don't have this anymore. No. I remember getting rid of this actually. I have not read this. It does not sound like something that would interest me.
I really don't know what this book is about.
Well, why did you buy it then? Probably because it was 50p, and as I said, just used to buy anything.
I just seem to see this book everywhere, so I thought I may as well give it a go.
I used to see it everywhere. I probably used to see it in every single charity shop I went into. I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about that book. If you've read it, let me know, but I mean, I don't own it anymore, so.
Third book is The Snow Child by Owen Ives.
I don't have this anymore either. I've got rid of this as well. I think a lot of people did talk about this on BookTube around the time that I bought this. It just doesn't sound like my sort of thing at all.
I'm sorry if I said that wrong. I picked this up because I intended to read this over the holidays, but I haven't done it, so I'll save this one until next year.
I love that I didn't read it and then was going to read it the next year and just never did.
What I got from the charity shop was My Life as a Traitor.
Oh, I still have this. It's here. I still have it. One that I still have out of 4 or 5, however many we're on now. I haven't read this yet though. I've kept it because I do really want to read it still. It's about a story of courage and survival in Tehran's brutal Evin prison. It's non-fiction. It sounds like it will be really interesting and I would learn a lot from it, but I just have never pushed myself to pick it up. So maybe I should. I feel like it's going to be one of the only ones that's like left from this video that I still own. So maybe I should put it in a TBR soon.
To be honest, I had never seen this book anywhere before.
No, I still haven't.
Picked it up on a whim because I'm quite interested in reading about books that are set in countries that I haven't read about before.
I mean, that is still true, and I am doing like a series on my channel reading books from countries all around the world, but I've been focusing more on fiction.
The book I picked up from the charity shop, which I was really pleased with because it cost me just £1 and it's a hardcover book, is We Need New Names by No Violet Bullaway.
Oh, I think, do I still have this? I think I do still have this. I think it's on my other shelves. I haven't read this either.
This was also shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize in 2013, so I'm presuming that it's going to be really good.
That is just like the base level of being good, shortlisted for any prize. Just because it's shortlisted for something I know now doesn't necessarily mean that I will enjoy it. I feel like I had seen that book around like quite a lot as well at the time I made this, but clearly I didn't care about it enough to want to pick it up, and I feel like I haven't heard anyone talk about this book for years.
I also bought 4 more books before Christmas that weren't from charity shops, and the first of these is A Tale for the Time Being.
I haven't read this yet. This is one of those books that I think I'm really gonna like, and I keep telling myself that I'm going to, but I didn't realise I'd had it for this long actually. I think I thought I'd only had it for a few years, but oh my god, I've had it for 6 years. Right, I do still have this. It's in my flat. When I moved there 3 years ago, the books that I took to my flat were the ones that I wanted to prioritise the most. It's still there, it still hasn't been read, so I keep putting it off. Do really want to read some more Japanese books though, because I was meant to be going to Japan this year, and now hopefully, fingers crossed, going to be going next year. So I would love to do a whole video on reading Japanese fiction as part of my literally travelling series that I've been doing, so maybe I can include this one in that.
The next book is The Coldest Girl in...
I've read this one. Wow, the first one. This was one of the first books that I read because of BookTube. I can't remember how I felt about it. I think I said that I really enjoyed it, but I probably didn't really care for it that much because it's so not my sort of thing. I actually unhauled this. I've sold it on Depop, so it's gone. Someone else has it now, and I hope that they get more out of it than I clearly did.
The next book that I picked up is Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins.
I haven't read this, and I also unhauled this. It just got to a point where it had been sitting on my shelves for so long, and I thought I'm never going to read it, and even if I do read it, I'm never going to carry on with the series. I have no interest in it anymore. It was very of the time.
I'm really excited about picking this up because I've heard a lot of good things.
Not that excited, clearly.
The final book that I picked up before Christmas was My True Love Gave to Me.
I have read this one. I think I thought it was okay at the time. Very seasonal, but I've got rid of this. I don't have it anymore. I sold this one as well, I think, on Depop.
12 Winter Romances, edited by
I've read 2 of the books though. We love that.
I read this at the end of December and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. So that was the books that I bought for myself before Christmas, and the next lot of books are books that I actually got given on Christmas Day. Okay,
I hope that I've done better on this because I feel awful about not reading books that people gifted to me, especially because I would have asked for these. They weren't like gifts that were just random. But I don't think it's going to go very well. The first half hasn't gone very well, has it?
So the first thing that I got is a little bit different to all of the other books that I got, and it is Lists of Note by...
Okay, well, I haven't read this. I think I must have read some of them around the time, but it's like a coffee table book. It does still live on my bookshelf, my other bookshelf over there.
I am a huge list fan. I love making lists, and I love reading lists as well. So I really, really love this, and I was really happy.
I feel like I sound so unenthusiastic. I'm like, I really, really love this. I think it's just that accent, but I feel like I sound so fake.
The second book that my parents gave to me on Christmas Day is one that I am currently reading at the moment. Ooh. And that is Rebecca by...
One of my favourites. Yes, I still have this. I have multiple copies of it now. I have my Folio Society edition here. Actually have read one, loved one, and still own it. So that's 3 now, but one that I've actually enjoyed.
The next book that I was given on Christmas Day is Gone Girl by...
I've read this one as well. Oh, I'm doing so much better. I didn't really like Gone Girl though. Yeah, not a huge fan of it. I do still own it though. I might unhaul it, to be honest. I'm never going to read it again. I don't really need it. But I watched it because my housemate wanted to watch the film with me, and I kept saying I'm not going to watch the film until I've read the book, and then I think we never ended up watching the film because I was just so like ugh about the book.
The next book my parents got me for Christmas is The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton.
I still have this and I really like this edition, and I haven't read it. I really enjoyed The Muse. I read that one last year, so this has been one that after reading that, like since then, I've been like, oh, I need to like prioritize it and refocus on it, but I haven't yet. But maybe I should put that one aside for this year as well, because it is still one that actually genuinely interests me, and probably I feel like I'm more likely to enjoy it now than I was back then. I feel like my tastes have changed, and my tastes nowadays are much more aligned with this book than 18-year-old me's tastes were. So I'm not actually sure why I asked for it. I probably just heard a lot of people talking about it on BookTube.
I don't think this is a cover that many people have seen on BookTube, because
not me thinking I'm being
all
quirky.
the videos that I've watched that have mentioned this have the one with the like house on the front. As you may or may not know, I am collecting the Penguin Drop Caps collection. So I was given G and H in the Drop Caps collection.
Yeah, well, I haven't read these, but to be honest, my Penguin Drop Caps, I collected them not really to read, more to have the collection, because I did read from my copy of Jane Eyre and it really wore away at the spine. What actually are these books though?
G is Lord of the Flies by William Golding, which is a classic, and
they're
H
all classics.
Is Siddhartha by Herman Hesse.
I haven't read either of them in like a different format either. Lord of the Flies is one that I always tell myself that I will read one day, but really, am I ever gonna? Probably not. I feel like I know what happens. And yeah, I've got 2 Q in the collection now, so I'm like halfway through, but I haven't bought one or received one of these for years. But I would really like to have the full collection at some point. I'm not sure if they're still as easy to come across as they were then.
It was part of the collection, so I really wanted it. If it's deemed good enough to make it into this classics collection, then I'm sure it's a good read.
Yeah, because everything considered a classic is automatically something you're gonna like, Caris. That is such a stupid comment.
Just admire how beautiful these books are.
Why am I talking so slowly and so unenthusiastically?
The last lot of books I'm going to show you, and also the largest pile, is the books that I bought after Christmas. First lot of the books that I bought after Christmas are books that I bought from bookshops, and I also bought 3 off the internet.
I don't know why every time I say a number I have to be like, I probably still do this, but I'm noticing it now. My fingers look really short.
The first of the books that I got from the shops was All the Bright Places.
I've read this. I loved it at the time. I do still have it because it had a meaning for me at the time and I feel like I can't part with it. But I just feel like, looking back, knowing the story, I don't think I would like it now. I feel like I probably would find it very problematic if I read it now.
At the same time as that, I bought Disreputable History of Frankie Lando Banks by E. Lockhart.
I haven't read this. I do still own this. This is in my flat again. It's one that I sort of thought, oh, I'll get around to this soon, because at the time I moved to my flat I was reading a lot more YA than I do now. And yeah, every time I've gone to unhaul stuff, there's just been something that I haven't got rid of it for. I think there's like a boarding school in it, and I think that's the reason why I haven't got rid of it yet, because I do really like books in general that are set in boarding schools.
For those of you that saw my top 14 books of 2014 video, you'll know that I loved We Were Liars by E. Lockhart in 2014.
So
and I
original.
Really hope I'm going to enjoy this one as well. The next book that I bought from the bookshops after Christmas is Orange is the New Black, My Time in a Woman's Prison by Piper Kerman.
I've never read this and I've got rid of it. I actually sold it last week on Depop, so it's gone. Orange is the New Black, I watched like 3 seasons of it, 4 seasons of it maybe, but it's one of those things that the new season came out, I was always behind, and then I just got to a point where I just couldn't be bothered to catch up with it. Like, it was fine, it was very easy watching. I loved Maritza and Flacker, but a lot of the other characters, like, I didn't care for. I just never saw the need to read this book.
Next is Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand.
I still have this, but I really do think the only reason I still have it is because it's got Jack O'Connell on the cover, who I love, and I loved him in Skins, and it's like I have a sentimental attachment to it because he's on it. I can honestly never really see myself reading this.
I don't like movie covers, but I don't really mind this one because it's got Jack O'Connell on the front, and I have loved Jack O'Connell since Skins. The next book is a huge one, and it is Fall of Giants.
That's in the same stack of books on my shelf as Unbroken. I haven't read this. I've got the next one in the series as well, Winter of the World, and I haven't read either of them. My mum's read them, so someone has read my copies of them.
I believe this book follows 5 families through things such as the First World War, the Russian Revolution, and the struggle for votes for women.
Like, that concept does interest me, but I just don't know. I haven't heard anything about them for years. And there are other books that I have that are like multi-generational family stories that I would much prefer to read than these. I'm currently reading a book called The Eighth Life by Nino Haratiashvili, which is set in Georgia, and that follows a Georgian family through like 8 generations, and I'm really enjoying that, and I feel like that book is going to give me all the generational stuff that I need, and then will I ever need to read these ones?
All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony.
I've read this. I did enjoy this one, but it's not one that I would consider to be like a favourite. It's not one that I've returned to since reading it the first time, but I do still own this one as well.
And the last 3 books are the ones that actually arrived today. I ordered these from the book depository, and the first one of these is Ask the Passengers by A.S. King.
I haven't read this. I think I still have this one, but I haven't read it. I feel like Ariel Bassett used to talk about this all the time, and that would have been why I bought it.
As I said in one of my other videos, Please Ignore Viridiet was one of my favourite books of 2014.
See, that book, I remember reading it. If I'm being honest with myself, I remember thinking like, this is okay. I think I always used to think that I had to put books that I thought other people really loved in my like popular lists. It's not something that I would say now that I loved, but I guess at the time like I hadn't really read that much else, so anything that was way or a little bit different, it was like, oh, this is amazing, this is a revolutionary, groundbreaking.
The next book I got was I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson.
I don't think I've read this. I think I've read the other Jandy Nelson, but I'm not sure, to be honest. I've read the one about siblings, or are they both about siblings? Whichever one I read clearly made a huge impact on me, but I think I still have this because the cover's pretty, and I should just get rid of it, to be honest. And it's another one. Am I really going to read this ever? No. Just get rid of it, Caris. Just do it.
And it's been one that I've been meaning to read for so long now.
For so long now, I still haven't read it 6 years later. So how long had I been planning on reading it for beforehand?
And the last book that I picked up from the internet is Anya's Ghost.
Oh, I have read this. This is behind me somewhere. You can't see it because there's like stuff on my shelf in front of it, but I do still have this. I enjoyed it. I read it. I enjoyed it. It was a very quick read because it's a graphic novel, but I have kept it because graphic novels are expensive and I get through them so quickly, and I feel like I should keep hold of them for that reason. And maybe that's stupid, like maybe I could sell this one on Depop, to be fair. It's also pretty though.
So that is all the books that I'm going to show you today. What books did you get for Christmas, or what books did you buy for yourself recently? As I always say, if you've read any of these books, let me know in the comments what you thought of them. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you again next time with another video. Bye!
Thumbnail problems, honestly, still relatable to this day. Okay, so that was my first ever book haul that went on my channel in 2015. It's not still there, so you can't go and find it, but I mean, I've showed you most of it in this video anyway. As you can see, I didn't really read very many of them. Actually, I read more than I thought I would have. I thought I would have read like 0. But you can tell from the ones that I like got in the charity shops that I definitely went through that phase of literally buying anything and everything that was a book to look like I was a proper booktuber, which I definitely don't agree with anymore. I'm going to put on screen how many of the books I've read, how many of them I still own, because I think that would be interesting and I wasn't keeping track as I went along. But other than that though, that is it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. It was a bit of fun for me to do. If you've read any of the books that I mentioned, then as I said in that video, let me know what you thought of them. I would love to know if I got rid of any of them, or if there's any that's been sitting on my shelves for years that I should consider reading. But there's not really anything on there other than The Miniaturist and possibly My Life as a Traitor that I can see myself reading in sort of like the next 12 months. But if there's one that I still have that I should bump up there, then definitely let me know. Or just leave me an emoji in the comments to let me know that you've watched the video. Other than that though, that is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're all keeping safe and staying well, and I will see you again next time. Bye!